Saxon Algebra 2. Lesson 108. Sorry, I dropped the lid off my marker and totally distracted myself. Okay, one of the things we have been talking about this year, a whole bunch, last year too for that matter, is factoring. Factoring. How the heck do you factor stuff, right? Breaking it down into smaller pieces and then rearranging those. And we've learned a lot of different ways to factor. And and this is another way to factor. It's a factoring method, dare I say, right? It's similar to what we call the difference of two squares. So I'm going to remind you of what the difference of two squares is, because right now you may be thinking, yeah, it sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't really remember that. It's saying that if you've got a perfect square of something and you're subtracting the perfect square of something else, you can factor that without, there's no guessing games. There's no multiplies to this and adds to that. There's no looking for the greatest common factor. You just go, bam. It's A minus B, A plus B. All you have to do is figure out what's the square, the root of those two things, and then fill in the blanks. It's easy. It's fast. It's as close as you're going to come to a non-thinking process in all of algebra. Okay? So this is what we're going off of. The sum and the difference of two cubes are just slightly fancier versions of this. I'm going to start with the sum of two cubes. Now notice that these were squares and this says difference, and now I'm saying sum of cubes. So it looks like this. It's a cube plus another cube. Okay? So difference means subtraction of two squares. That means they're exponents of 2. Sum, that means add. Of two cubes, that means exponents of 3. And here's the automatic way that you factor it. You don't even have to think about it. You do, however, have to memorize it. Oh, how fun, right? All right, that looks kind of long and complicated. I'm going to show you the difference of two cubes, because in cubes you get one of each. In squares, we only do difference. We don't do sum. It doesn't work out for the sum. But when we're cubing, then we get to do both. Okay, so here's the difference of two cubes. So that would be A cubed minus B cubed, right? And look what happens when we look at the pattern for that. Oh, wait. Okay, that is a minus sign. Don't be like me, kids, and make a plus sign accidentally. All right. When we have two cubes that we're adding, the little binomial that comes first with just the A and the B, that sign matches. It's also adding. Then we go into this A squared, AB, B squared thing. The first one is the other sign, right? We added so that it matched here, and then we mix it up with a minus sign, and then we go back to the positive. Down here, here's a minus sign. So in this first little binomial, look, it matches. Then when we go to this part, the letters are all the same. It's just the signs that go crazy. We started with a minus. Now we have a plus here. And then this is always a plus. So the first sign matches to our original problem. And the second sign is the opposite to what is out here. And the third sign is always positive. That makes this way easier to memorize, which is what I'm asking you to do. Isn't that so fun of me? Please memorize that. You'll be glad to know, because right now, Abby and Laura and Vivian and Jayla are working on preparing for that AccuPlacer test, and they're having to dredge all this stuff up out of their memory, which isn't horrible. They know it. They can pull it out. It just takes a little work, and the more effort you put into memorizing now, the more you will be rewarded in the future. Okay, so there they are. Let's practice applying them, shall we? That will be so fun. Let's look and see how many examples there are. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the first one. Really the hardest part of these problems is just identifying the pattern, noticing that you have it. Every single exponent here is cubed. This term has 2 variables. This one only has 1, but we can see, oh, cubes and cubes. It's all perfect. It's its difference of 2 cubes because we have the minus sign in between them. That's all. That's the only way I can tell. What I like to do is, it seems so easy, and this one is fairly easy, but write down, okay, what is my, if this is a cubed, right? Then what's a? A would be x, y, right? We find the cube root of that term, and then we do the same for this one, p. That's going to make it much easier to fill in the blank here, which is what we need to do. We're going to say that this is equal to, I'm going to write it down here because I want more room. Okay, so we're just going to follow this pattern. xy minus p, quantity, times x squared y squared plus, now everything all together, xyp plus p squared. Okay? Once you have your formulas and your roots identified, then it's just fill in the blank, and it's pretty darn easy, and most students find these a piece of cake. Okay, there's the answer. That's correct. All right, now I have to flip away from my beautiful formulas, and you know what that means. That means I have to write them over again. Oh. All right, you're going to do it with me. Ready? It's going to be fun. All right, start by doing this. A cubed plus b cubed. All right, now you practice writing it. Don't look at the screen. I'm going to cover mine up and write it, and then after a couple seconds, I will take my hand away and show you the answer. Ready, go. Ta-da! Did you get it right? Okay, let's do the same thing with this one. I guess I was waiting for you to answer. Did you get it right? No one said anything. Okay, ready? Do it again. Try this one. Ta-da! There it is. All right, remember, just like every other equation, if it's written on your homework page and you don't have to copy it over, but when you turn the page, you have to write it again. I hope you obey my rules. Okay, ready? Factor 8 m to the 3rd y to the 6th plus x to the 3rd. Okay, so here are our clues. That's a power, that's a multiple of 3, that's a multiple of 3, that's a multiple of 3, and 8 equals 2 cubed, right? Okay, so let's see if we can figure out our A and our B, if these are the cubes. Okay, so for the first one, the cube root of 8 is 2. The cube root of m to the 3rd is m. Now this one we have to think about. This is 6 y's, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my surefire way to figure it out. So that means I have 3 pairs of 2, right? So that means this is y squared. All right. Sometimes that can get a little bit confusing when you know that you've got a multiple of 3, so you know it's going to work out to be a cube, but you're not sure exactly how many are in just the original term. Okay, the second one's easy. It's just x. Okay, so now we're doing, okay, and it's the sum version. So we want to go here. So now we fill in, it's 2my squared plus x times, now we have to square this, so it's going to be 4m squared y to the 4th minus, there's the big ching, ab 2m y squared x plus b squared, that's easy. Let's make sure I got it right. Yay, that's right. Okay, I double checked for accuracy. I tortured the Algebra 1 boys by making a horrendous mistake in the middle of my problem. Just ridiculous. I won't even tell you what I did, but let's just say it was one of my classic, the hard part of the problem, I did fine. I just like dropped a minus sign and lied about adding two numbers together. Okay, ready? This one is factor a to the 12th plus b to the 12th. This is what I was talking about. Sometimes these cubes get a little bit tricky to find the single term. And again, you could write them all out if you wanted, but we know that there's 12 A's and we want to divide them into 3 groups, right? So that means each one is going to have 4 A's in it. Here, I'll just write one of them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 A's. I want to find the cube of them. That means I need to have 3 equal portions. And you can tell, by the way, I wrote it. I put gaps in there. So it would be 4 in each original group. And then B works the same way. So that would be B to the, I'm sorry, I wrote 12, 4. All right. It is a sum. So that means we want this one. And now we just fill in. A plus B would be a to the 4th plus b to the 4th. And then a squared means we square this, so it would be a to the 8th. There's our big minus sign. And then AB would be like this. Plus, and then b squared would be squaring that, so that would be b to the 8th, right? We add. I hope that makes sense to you. I wish I could see your faces right now. Whether you're going, yeah, it's obvious, don't, just keep going. Or if you're going, Mom, this is too hard. I hate math, I'm quitting. It's too late to quit. I'm just checking to make sure I got it right. Yay! Guess what? I'm out of examples, so I guess that means I have to cross this lesson off and say, look, you guys, we're halfway done with the new lessons between spring break and summer break. I'm pumped. And you know what else? I'm done. Goodbye.